This is the beginning of how a real-life tragedy cost the lives of so many people. Anatoly Dyatlov was the deputy chief engineer. Leonid, he was the senior nuclear engineer of Chernobyl. At the age of 25, he was in charge of the reactor controls. This is the control room from Chernobyl. Minutes before the reactor core exploded, steel lid of the reactor, control rods caps that each weighed 350 kilograms. And this is the steam room of Chernobyl. Anatoly ordered his men to drop down the energy in the nuclear reactor. Leonid controlled the rods and lowered down the energy inside the nuclear reactor. The number dropped drastically, and the computer forced them to cool down for 24 hours. But the chief did not let that happen. He forced them to complete the safety test on the reactor. He didn't care if it went against the rules of the safety test. So the men were forced to obey him, and they increased the reactor fuel inside the reactor core. Perevoschenko looks down at the steel lid of the reactor. He sees the control rods caps that each weighed 350 kilograms jumping up and down. Then he ran towards the control room. This red button was supposed to deactivate the reactor, but instead it caused the explosion. After hearing the explosion, the chief started blaming everyone in the control room. But then Perovchenko came in telling the chief that he saw graphite on the ground, and the chief told him that he did not see any graphite on the ground. Then firefighters were called. The explosion left so much radiation it started infecting everyone inside the building. All the workers were bleeding and had skin burns all over their faces and bodies. Then the chief left the control room. As he was walking by the hallways, the windows were shattered, everything was destroyed. Then the firefighters arrived to the scene. They all rushed out of their vehicles. These men rushed out to burn out all the fire from the explosion. But these men didn't realize that there was an invisible enemy: radiation. These brave men didn't realize that these were their last weeks of life. Under the nuclear reactor, there was this one room. This room was filled with radioactive water. And then there was a meltdown in the nuclear reactor. But thanks to the liquefiers, it was prevented. If the nuclear reactor reached that water, it would have caused a second explosion. These men are the real heroes. They would have still been alive if it wasn't for that flipping explosion. The end.